Stories lost to time, now told again. This is Shadowed Archives. In February of 1959, 9 experienced hikers vanished in the frozen mountains of the northern Urals. What rescuers discovered has haunted investigators for more than 60 years. A tent slashed open from the inside, footprints leading into the dark, bodies scattered in the snow, and injuries no one could explain. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident, one of the coldest mysteries in history. Igor Dyatlov led the group, strong, calm, and disciplined. The hikers were young, talented, and experienced in the harsh winter terrain. They laughed, joked, and documented every step of their journey. But no one knew they were capturing the final days of their lives. On February 1st, strong winds forced them to camp on the slope of a mountain the local people called Dead Mountain. They set up their long canvas tent, prepared their last meal, and settled in for the night. Sometime after midnight, something went terribly wrong. When rescuers finally reached the campsite, nothing made sense. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Footprints, some barefoot, led calmly into the forest. 2 bodies were found beneath a cedar tree. Others were discovered deeper in the woods, some half buried in the snow. The pattern was chaotic, but the cause was unknown. Investigators first suspected hypothermia, but the injuries told a different story. A crushed chest with no external wounds, broken ribs, a missing tongue, and traces of radiation on their clothing. There were no signs of a struggle and no indication of an attack. Whatever happened that night left no clear explanation. The simplest theory was an avalanche, a sudden collapse of snow forcing the hikers to flee, but the slope was too shallow. The tent was not buried, and the footprints showed the hikers walked away, not ran. The avalanche theory didn't fit. Another theory suggests the hikers stumbled into a Soviet military test. Strange burns on their clothing, radiation traces, and glowing lights reported in the sky fed decades of suspicion. But no official document has ever confirmed such tests. A rare wind phenomenon can create low-frequency vibrations known as infrasound. This can trigger panic, anxiety, and cause people to experience overwhelming fear without knowing why. Some researchers believe these vibrations drove the hikers into confusion and forced them to flee into the dark. One of the strangest theories suggests a creature attacked the hikers. This idea comes from a single diary joke and a staged photograph. There is no evidence for this theory, yet the legend still lives on in the shadows of the Ural Mountains. The radiation on the hikers' clothing sparked more questions. Some believe they handled radioactive materials at work. Others suspect contamination from an unknown source. But investigators never proved where the radiation came from. Another theory claims the truth was buried. Missing documents, sealed reports, and contradictions in official statements have fueled suspicion for decades. Some believe the full story never left the archives of the Soviet government. Evidence suggests the hikers left the tent calmly at first, but as the cold set in, they became separated. Some tried to return. Others collapsed in the snow. Their final hours remain silent. Some say nature killed them. Others believe the military was involved. Some think fear itself drove the hikers into the night. But after decades of investigation, one truth remains. The Dyatlov Pass incident is unsolved, and perhaps it was never meant to be understood.